What is up, everyone? Welcome to the B.E.T podcast. Today we only have the E.T. of B.E.T for our first episode. Great start, I know. But today, hello, Travis.
Well, how we doing, Ethan?
Doing good. Long school days.
I mean, can't get any worse, I guess.
I
But
could
today,
be your roommate.
oh my, if you were my roommate, I don't know what I would do. Um,
I'm
but
legally
other
not
than
allowed to
that,
say.
okay, we're starting off on a great foot for this podcast.
Yeah, we are.
But other than what Ethan is saying, today we are going to kick off the college football season and then the week one of the NFL season. Ethan, our first topic of the episode is probably one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. The
Mm-hmm.
defending champs, the Ohio State Buckeyes, versus the new coming number one overall, or not number one overall, number one seed, the Texas Longhorns. How do we feel about this matchup?
I think it's a really bold move by the NCAA to put this on week one. This feels more like a week 13 kind of game. Most teams aren't even playing that week, kind of thing. But no, this is just what we get to look forward to kick things off. I am surprised it's a 12 o'clock start.
I am too. You would think it would be one of those maybe 3:30 slots, 7:30 slots. You think it would be one of those later games, not a noon kickoff. One of the most anticipated things about this matchup is Arch Manning coming in to be the starter with Quinn Ewers leaving for the draft. How do you think Manning is going to perform? He has a lot to live up to, saying that
Mm-hmm.
you, as a Vols fan, you know all about that with Peyton Manning, his uncle, I believe.
Yep, his uncle. Yeah, he's Cooper's kid, so Cooper was doubted to be the best athlete of the group. Unfortunately, he never got to fully live out that dream. But I mean, we've already seen. I mean, we act like we're seeing him for the first time. This is not the first time seeing Arch Manning on the field. I think if it's not for the longevity that we saw out of Ewers and him sticking with the Longhorns, I don't. I think he doesn't get the start last year. Uh, in some games, it really looked like Ewers was what was holding Texas back compared to seeing when Arch was on the field, they were able to be more dynamic. So I think we'll see that a lot more. We'll see him use his legs. That's one thing he did not get from his uncle. He can scramble decently well. Uh, Either of his uncles, really. Poor Eli.
Yeah, yeah. Poor Eli, poor Maiden, didn't get the legs of the family.
No.
But going on to that, Ohio State's quarterback Julian Sayin, Will
Mm-hmm.
Howard leaving for the draft. So how do you think he's going to match up with this Ohio State offense against this Texas defense?
I think you're going to see a different kind of Ohio State coming into this game. They're coming off their national championship. They're feeling good about themselves. But I think they need to be prepared for what's about to come through.
I do too. I mean, you have to think they are missing that ground and pound run offense that they had last year. Both Trevion Henderson goes to Patriots, Quinshon Junkins goes to the Browns. You don't have those running backs that you did last year.
No, you don't. I mean, you're missing a lot of key pieces from that team that got you so far last year. Even though I think the biggest thing Ohio State fans care about isn't as much this week as when we finally get to rivalry week and we see the game. I mean, everyone knows that out of all 12 games on the schedule, even rankings set aside, that's the most important. So I see this as week one of them getting ready for that game already.
I don't even think I really even have to ask you what that game is. But
Mm-hmm.
moving on, what do we think the prediction for this game is going to be? Do we think it's going to
Oh,
be a game of the year candidate, or do you think somebody's going to just powerhouse through somebody else?
I mean, I hate to say it. I don't think. Ohio State's going to win their first game after winning the Natty. Uh, just with everything Texas has got coming back, I think you have more key pieces on Texas's side of the ball than you do on Ohio State's. So I think you're going to see a bigger difference on Ohio State's side, and I don't think it's going to be all positive.
I think I completely agree with you. I feel like Texas just brought so many key players back. Um, so I'm gonna make a very bold statement. I'm gonna use my bold statement of the week right now, and I'm gonna say Texas is going to win, and it's not even going to be close.
All
I
right.
feel like it's going to be a three possession win.
Oh, wow. That is a pretty bold take right there.
So moving on to the Battle of the Tigers, the Battle of the Death Valleys, we have
Mm-hmm.
LSU versus Clemson. Um, Cade Klubnik, one of the Heisman odd favorites, versus Garrett Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pretty good year last year. Cade kind of struggled, me knowing that as a Clemson fan. But I feel like with the pieces that we brung back, I feel like this is Clemson's chance to prove that they can push towards a national title. Even though, for the love of God, Dabo,
Mm-hmm.
please start using the portal. If that old man doesn't start using the portal and we can't bring in any transfers, I don't feel like Clemson's going to win a natty anytime soon. Do you, I'm gonna trivia fact you, Ethan. Do you know how many transfer portal starters we've had since the portal has opened?
Probably zero.
Yep, dead smack on. We've had zero transfers start at Clemson since the portal opened. So I feel like that's a big thing holding Clemson back. All these teams. I mean, you have Michigan that brought in Bryce Underwood that took him from LSU. So I feel like that's what gave Nussmeier the chance to shine. You have a whole dilemma with Nico. We'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about that later on in the episode. I know you're still a little bittersweet about that, is being maybe not.
No,
After that Arkansas game, probably not.
it's not.
But
We'll get to it
what's your
later.
take? What's your take on the Clemson and LSU game?
Uh, well, I think the fact number one that you even try to compare the Death Valleys is kind of funny.
Hey, no,
There's
no, no,
only
no, no,
one.
no,
There's only
no,
one, and we all
no.
both know it's in
When
Louisiana.
did I try to compare them? I just said the Battle of the Death Valleys.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to say it's a battle at all. Yeah, that's funny. That's real funny. Uh, I mean, we just gotta look at the facts right now. I think your best team in the ACC is not even better than half the best teams in the SEC. So,
As a Clemson man, I'll even agree to that.
yeah, I mean, I don't think LSU is really sweating much over this week.
Okay, I wouldn't say that. Okay,
But I mean, they have some things they
okay.
got to watch out for. I mean, if they're not careful, they're going to end up losing this game. But I do think LSU wins this game.
Okay, so prediction wise, you said LSU wins. As much as I
Hmm.
want to say Clemson wins, for whatever reason on TikTok, I've seen people say like not only is Clemson going to beat LSU, they're going to run through them. That is not the case whatsoever. If Clemson can somehow win this game, it would be by a field goal.
Yep.
But give me the Bayou Bengals. Give me the school that had one of the greatest rosters of all time with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I can go on about that team.
You could.
But just give me the Bayou Bengals by 10. And if we're lucky, if Clemson is lucky,
Hmm.
that would be the the worst of the beating.
Yep. Which I
Let's see.
doubt
What
it.
do I have?
But you know.
Moving on, Alabama versus Florida State. Both teams having a very horrific season last season. Milrow going out.
I I
What
don't
do you
think we can control or compare horrific seasons between FSU last year and Alabama this last year.
Yeah.
Uh, that
Um, and then
that's
Titan,
wild.
but okay, but I mean, given Alabama's past, it was a horrific season.
Oh, for
Um,
Alabama fans, yeah, that's a horrific season, but for someone like a Clemson fan, that's like Christmas. Like,
okay, okay. Let's just remember where both Clemson and Tennessee both ended after the first round of the college football playoffs last year.
and let's
Um,
not forget that Tennessee was there because they got picked, and Clemson was there because they had to put them in.
That's not fair. But going on, Jalen Milrow going out,
Mm-hmm.
Ty Simpson coming in. What do we think about Ty Simpson? My personal opinion, I feel like he has a better passing aspect than Jalen Milrow. I believe that my 7-month-year-old dog has a better passing aspect than Jalen Milrow. Rushing side. I feel like that's where Milrow's game shined. He would make some big plays with his legs, but he would also make some big losses with his legs. There was times where he would try to scramble out of the pocket. He would be that try to be that hero. I mean, we saw it with Shador Sanders this past preseason game, where he was trying to make money, do his thing that he did in Colorado. Well, that's not going to work in the NFL. He took, I believe it was like a 24-yard sack. So what are we feeling about this game? How do you think they're going to match up?
Let's look at some numbers real quick. You had Florida State coming off probably one of its worst seasons in a while against a Alabama team that last year was considered bad, and they still played really good at times of last season. As a Tennessee fan, I mean, I was there when Tennessee beat them this last time, but it wasn't by a large margin. That game was very wide open for most of it. I think when you try to compare the two, it's not even close. I think you're going to see a dominant game out of Alabama. And
I was
I think if you're the head coach of Alabama, you have to. I mean, you your seat's already kind of hot, which is a wild statement to say. But you're coming off Nick Saban, and you got to make your own legacy if you want to stay. This is not a franchise or fans that are used to waiting for success. So, I mean,
this is
you got to get it going.
based in a franchise that just literally got stuff handed to them national championship after national championship. Um,
Yeah,
you
but
already stated your prediction. I'm going to state mine. Um, I don't even think it's gonna be close. I just put
yeah,
it on here. I don't even think it's gonna be close. I just put it on here, just to make fun of Alabama because they've had like one of their worst seasons in like the past probably 2 decades.
yep.
Um, so I just want to put this on there for to make fun of them. And I know Ethan appreciates that, but I don't even think this is gonna be close. I feel like this is a game where Alabama's gonna be able to pull their starters by halftime. Now the big one. We were talking about this later or earlier in the episode. UCLA and Utah. Nico's first game. Nico Amnaliva, just like he left Tennessee.
Hmm.
Ethan, how are we feeling about this game?
Personally, I feel like it's not going to be a good game. Uh, Depending on where Utah's defense is, I think one thing that was really standing out when Nico was with Tennessee was the fact that he didn't really do all too well against the SEC. 9 touchdown passes is definitely not what you expect out of a 5 star as himself getting paid that much money. But I think one of the other aspects you got to look at is he's in lesser teams right now. He's not having to face an SEC school every other week or every week. So I think we can expect to see better production out of him just because of who he's playing around. with that being said, I don't think he's going to have quite the weapons he had at Tennessee. So I think he's going to have to make some of it work. He doesn't have a Dylan Sampson in the backfield for him. So he's going to have to do a lot of it on his own.
So, speaking of 5 stars heading to the good old state of Rocky Top, you want to share the news that you broke to me before the episode?
Yeah, we got a 5 star. Commit from LSU flipped. That's always great. Welcome to Rocky Top. You'll love it here. Just be careful where you go eat. I joke. Food on campus is great. Campus life is pretty good right now. We just got that new nursing building in. It has some good restaurants in it. He'll like it. Uh, in
I have to
general,
feel bad. I have to be sorry to cut you off, but I have to
mhm,
feel bad for LSU because that's the second 5 star that they literally just got ripped right from them.
mhm,
You have Bryce Underwood going to Michigan. I can't wait to really see how he plays.
yeah,
It could be a dodged bullet. Who knows? He could go out there and do what Nico did.
mhm,
And he could play awful, or he could go out and he could do something like JJ McCarthy, where they just had a great team behind him,
yeah,
and he shined in that system. We'll talk about JJ McCarthy later in this episode too, about
yeah,
his first NFL start against the Vikings, or not against the Vikings, with the Vikings. But other than that, with that prediction, you said you don't think it's really going to be a good game. I don't think so either. I was looking at the predictions. It's like the predictions is like 77-23 favoring in UCLA.
yeah,
So I feel like Nico is going to take the first win in his new home state of California.
yeah. And I mean, I'm glad he's closer to home. I mean, I enjoyed watching him play. Uh, I do think his reasoning for leaving was kind of weird. Between play style and saying that he wanted a better offense, and then he went to UCLA. So I do
So
think it's going to be interesting, but I think it will be a win for UCLA nonetheless.
So that's going to wrap up our college football segment for this week. Moving on to the NFL kickoff, long
Hold on.
awaited.
You're going to talk about your Clemson Tigers, but we're not going to talk about good old kickoff game in Atlanta between Tennessee and
Nobody
Syracuse.
cares about the Tennessee Volunteers and the
Hey,
Syracuse Oranges.
both teams are withholding their depth charts for that game
That's
until
right.
the
Okay.
game starts.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
this is going to be fun. Of course, it's going to be Joey Aguilar's first game. I'm really excited to see him suit up in the orange. Uh, and
That orange is going to be green by the time the game's over.
I mean, the defenses will, because we're going to
No.
absolutely bury them. We do have a really good defense this year, and I'm excited to see how it goes. It has some really high expectations after last year.
Yes, it does. So are you happy? Are you satisfied that we got to talk about your Vols?
I mean, if you're going to show favoritism, at
Okay, I'm
least do
not.
it.
Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Tennessee's gonna
Just
beat the crap out of the Orange, and it's not even. You're gonna get to see probably Joey Aguilar for the first quarter and a half, and then he's gonna be out.
I
So are
sure
the
hope
rest of
so.
the ball starters.
I will say,
Um,
and all you Auburn fans can be excited for next week's podcast where we talk about the Tigers because Blake will join us, and he is a really big Tigers fan. So War Eagle, we see.
really, really big.
Yeah, it. I feel bad sometimes.
Yeah, I did too. Um, So now we can actually move on to the NFL. Week one, long awaited. Me and Ethan are
Very.
actually in our own fantasy football league. Ethan decided to take Patrick Mahomes in the fifth round after taking Joe
He's
Burrow in
my
the fourth.
backup. Let's go.
I don't know what he was thinking because we'll skip a couple notes. and we'll go to the Rasheed Rice suspension.
Yep.
Um, so not only is that the number one receiver in Kansas City,
Hmm.
this is also the receiver where Mahomes took away from his monster year last year by diving into his knee
Yep.
after he threw an interception. So if those that don't know, I think if you didn't know that this happened, I don't know why you're watching this podcast. But in early March this year, Rishi Rice was involved in a six-car pileup. Doing because of street racing, he then fled the scene, and now after a lot of consideration from I believe the NFL Players Association, that's probably who makes the call. Um, after consideration, it was deemed that a 6 game suspension before the season starts. So the first 6 games, he is going to be out. So what does this mean for guys like Hollywood Brown or Xavier Worthy?
I mean, obviously, you're getting your chance right here. I mean, you want to be that number one guy even when he comes back. Go out and make yourself look like a star. I mean, you're around a good team already. It's got a pretty good line around Mahomes as well. So if you can get open, you're going to get the chance to get the ball. So if you're either of those players, you need to be ready.
Because, like you just said, if somebody shows out, who knows if Rasheed Rice is going to come back and get that wide receiver one spot,
Exactly.
because he is even coming off a torn ACL.
Mhm.
So there's a chance he could come back, and it could be 1A, 1B with Xavier Worthy. It could be 1A, 1B with Hollywood Brown. Who knows? Going into that, what do we think is going to be the record of the Chiefs? Because they have some pretty tough games. I'm pretty sure they play the Lions in those first 6 weeks.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they play the Bills in those first 6 weeks. I could be wrong about that. Let me look at a schedule. Ethan, you can take that away.
Well, I mean, let's be real. The first headlines of the first few weeks is going to be Taylor Swift and Kelsey's engagement. I think
I
that's
didn't
also
win it.
something you're going to have to look at as to try not to distract them. They're going to have a lot more fans than they normally would in the stadiums. So, I mean,
At least their decibel level will be the loudest in the NFL because they're going to have a bunch of 13-year-old girls in it.
maybe. I do think,
Okay,
though, you
so
do have to look at that. I think you're going to be looking at a possible. It's going to be 4-2 or 2-4, and I don't see any other way around it.
to be honest, I didn't want to even really talk about the engagement because I just don't like seeing Taylor Swift on my TV screen during the season. But I don't know why I'm congratulating them. They're not going to see this.
Yeah,
But congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. If one the greatest female pop star in the entire world,
yep.
and then with Travis Kelsey, I'm not big on him as a Patriots fan. I feel like Gronk's better, and people will say Kelsey's better, but one of the greatest tight ends of all time. And I feel like if they have a kid or when they have a kid, I feel like that kid's going to come out and he's going to be Troy Bolton.
It's going to be interesting. Uh, I,
It's going to
I,
be really interesting. But once again, congratulations to them both.
yeah,
Um,
living the
but
life
let's
right there.
off of that. I don't really want to talk too much about that. But so they have the Chargers week 1, then
Hmm.
week 2 they actually play Philadelphia. That's the team I was thinking about.
That's
Then they
going to
have the
be a
Giants.
hard game.
They have the Ravens. They have the Jags, and they have the Lions. So they have probably 3 Super Bowl contenders in those first 6 weeks. So right now, I'm probably going to mark all 3 of those as losses. I feel like they beat the crap out of the Giants. Jags, I don't know. With BTJ and Travis
Yep.
Hunter lining up on offense, that could be a sneaky game. I'm going to give them the win. Don't be surprised if Jacksonville pulls off some sort of upset.
Hmm. I think one area
And
of that schedule you have to look at is the Chargers. The Chargers lost some really big pieces. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. Their receiving core lost Palmer this year. Palmer's now your number 2 over in Buffalo now. Uh,
Yes.
you got a lot of good players that just aren't there. And you're going to, I do think it's going to be a regression year for that team. I mean, Herbert's got to have people to throw to.
Oh yeah. I mean, you lost J.K. Dobbins.
Mm-hmm.
You lost a lot of key players of that. You lost Joey Bosa to Buffalo.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, Buffalo
you just
took some
lost.
key pieces from that team.
Yes, they bullied him in free agency and trade.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. Speaking of trades, Micah Parsons, you are now a cheesehead. You better code up because the weather in Wisconsin is a lot different than it is in Dallas.
I think what's bad is I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, Jerry Jones absolutely fumbled the bag with those negotiations. I think last week he had a quote that really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, was saying how he would rather negotiate without a agent in the room, which is absolutely wild considering that is the agent's job to make sure that the player is getting the best end of the deal. So, good job, Jerry Jones. You did yourself in.
Right now, I can't find the trade details, and we have a couple more things we need to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but all I do know is Kenny Clark is part of that deal, and at least two first rounders are part of that deal.
Yep.
So really, I don't know what else Dallas had to give up. But if it's a couple draft picks, who knows? That could be an even trade. But if what I'm seeing is correct, I mean, you get Kenny Clark, a young defensive lineman, and then I
Mm-hmm.
mean you get two first rounders. Does that really mean anything to Jerry Jones? Not really. I don't. I as a Patriots fan, I know how Belichick drafted, and I feel like Jerry Jones is like three times worse.
Yeah.
So, who do you think won this trade? Do you think it was lopsided? It's kind of hard because we don't really know the trade details. But what's your opinion on this trade?
I mean, honestly, I mean it's Micah Parsons. I mean, you know what you're getting with that. I, I don't. I think people are more excited in Green Bay than they are in Dallas. That's for darn sure.
Oh, 100%, absolutely.
And he does get
Um,
bag with that trade too. I saw. I
he
believe
does.
it's 2 or 380.
I think, and then I think it was like 130. It was a Micah Parsons reportedly traded to the Packers from Cowboys, signs a historic $188 million contract,
Yeah,
136 million guaranteed. God, that.
guaranteed. I mean,
We already talked about the Rasheed Rice suspension, so let's go to my favorite team. Let's go to the New England Patriots. A familiar face for both of us. I saw, or I didn't see him, but my team had him as a player. You had him as a coach. Mike Vrabel coming to town in New
oh
England.
man,
Um,
what I wouldn't
really,
give to have him back.
what I've seen so far, I'm loving it. Has had to break up three fights in preseason. I love his offensive scheme. We brought Mike, not Mike. We brought Josh McDaniels back. I love his offensive scheme. I love him as an offensive coordinator. Didn't really shine as a head coach with the Raiders or the Broncos.
Hmm.
Um, Drake May, how do we feel like Drake May is going to do with McDaniels?
I hope he does well. I mean, May is if what we saw the little flashes of last year is anything to go off of. I think you have a reason to be optimistic about that quarterback. Uh, and behind him, of course, you have Josh Dobbs, the journeyman at this point.
Actually, no, 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 no. Behind him, you have Tommy Cutlets.
Cutlets is listed as the third string.
No!
Good try. Yeah, that depth
That
chart did come out. You have a veteran behind him, probably one of the smartest guys in the NFL. I think if anyone's going to help him learn more of the game, it's going to be him. Just from what Dobbs has seen, so I think May has some good help behind him. Uh,
I mean, to be fair, you're dealing with a rocket scientist.
for real, 4.0 rocket scientist at that.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay, I guess you got really mad at me when I didn't do this the first time. Um, we'll cover the Titans game.
no, you can skip that. As a
You
Titans
don't want to
fan,
talk
I'm not.
about you don't
I'm,
want you don't want to talk about Cam Ward going and having to play Bo Nix in the Denver Broncos.
it reminds me. I believe it was the 18 year when that's where we started our year with. It was right after we traded one of our really good defensive linemen, and then he got hurt in that game, and Tennessee let out a sigh of relief. Uh, I do think it's going to be a good game to test him. There's a lot of good defensive players on that side of the ball, especially in Denver. So I think you're going to be looking at a really good test to see how ready Cam Ward is for this kind of position. It's going to be interesting because I haven't seen a depth chart of their team yet, but there's really no one behind him. Of course, Mason Rudolph went back to the Steelers over the offseason, so you're looking at a lot of unknowns with that team. I think your receiving core is really going to help out, but other than that, good luck, Titans. I hope you win.
Oh, speaking of high draft picks,
Mm-hmm.
one I'm gonna just go my opinions to Cam Ward. Of course, I'm gonna have negative opinions because he was a Hurricane. But I wish the best for him. I never really want to prey on the downfall of players, because they work their entire lives to get in this situation. And of course, being the number one overall pick
Yeah.
is the most insane accomplishment there ever is in any sport, any league, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what I saw from him in preseason kind of spooked me. He really didn't move the ball against with the Bucks. Um,
I
that's
mean,
really the only
yeah.
preseason game I watched of him, so I can't really say anything. Just based off of what I saw, I don't know. Really what to think of him. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I wish him the best of luck, and we're gonna see where the season takes him.
I like his mentality he's bringing to the team, though. I
What the
don't know
non?
if you've seen some of his quotes, but I mean, him and Simmons got into a big fight one day of camp, and the reporters asked him afterwards if he learned anything from that fight or took anything away, and he goes, "Jeffrey Simmons is darn strong." I
Yeah,
mean, he's not some he's someone who wants to move forward, and I think that's
right.
something that's really important in a quarterback like him. A lot of people are questioning his abilities, and I think the only way you're going to get past that is to just move forward.
Show just prove them wrong and shut them up.
Exactly.
I think the biggest problem I have with Ward is just the way he's nonchalant in the pocket. That's not going to fly in the NFL. He did a lot versus Miami. You're playing ACC ball.
Yep.
I'll take a quote from Will Campbell, um, the Patriots' fourth round pick, where he goes, "In college, you're gonna play bad teams. In the NFL, the bad teams have Pro Bowlers."
Yep. That
So
sure
moving
is.
on to the second overall pick that I almost forgot about, Travis Hunter's having a kid. So after
Yeah.
that whole mess, with him and his fiance, the whole Twitter, the whole jokes, him and I believe her name is Leanna. Yes, Leanna Hunter and Travis Hunter are having their first child. They're expecting a baby boy. So
Congrats.
let's hope for the best of that. And hopefully the baby comes out healthy. It's going to be insanely fun to watch Travis Hunter in Jacksonville. He's probably very glad that he went to Jacksonville instead of Cleveland.
Oh, definitely.
Um, but other than that, I just want to we gave Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift their flowers. So we're gonna just
Yeah.
take a quick break for that. Moving on to the Packers game. So now this is really weird because they're playing the Lions,
Yeah.
and you just got a piece of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. It's one of the ones I have highlighted for that week. But I mean, let's be real. It's the Lions. uh I'm hoping they come off just as strong as they did the end of last season. Cause
I
that's
mean,
a
you
team
have
I would
Hutchinson.
love to see make the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl this year.
Um, let's see. Yes, they have Aiden Hutchinson coming back. Off his broken leg.
Hmm.
That was horrific to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Um, yeah. Um, and crazy enough is if the Lions made the Super Bowl last year, they were pushing for him to come back.
Yep. I mean,
Um,
you see your coach sitting there. I mean, that the mentality he brings to that team's unlike anything else. And I think it
it
really
will.
shows on his players.
I will say the most dangerous thing about the Lions that a lot of people are talking about is not only did they lose Ben Johnson,
Yeah,
I can't think of his last name, but they also lost their defensive coordinator as well.
they did.
So, but I feel like the Lions are going to just pick up where they left off. I don't know if they're going to have the dominant one seed season. I don't feel like they're going to have the 15-2 season, but I feel like they're still going to go 12-5, 13-4, 14-3, one of those three.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like they're still going to make the push even without Ben Johnson. Also, Ben Johnson being in Chicago, how do we feel about that? How do we feel like he's going to develop Caleb Williams? How do we feel like he's going to develop Rome Odunze? You have pieces coming in. You have Colston Loveland
hmm,
from Michigan.
I believe so.
I believe Michigan. Collins can correct me if I'm wrong.
Please do. It
But
would help his ego go down a little bit.
yeah. But Ethan, unless you have anything you want to add, I believe that's going to wrap up our first episode of the Bet Podcast or Bet Sports Podcast. I'm Travis.
I'm Ethan. Thank y'all for tuning in for what is to be a really nice time. If you have any comments, suggestions, you know where to put them. And otherwise, hit that like button. Sure helps us when we're trying to get up and going. So you see, this is a brand new account, so we're going to try to build something good here. We have faith in y'all, a lot more than I have in Travis.
Okay.
Uh, go Vols, baby.
Go Tigers.